Hello everybody. So in this video I'm going to talk a bit about what somebody asked me after I made the video about the Mandukya Upanishad verse 7, the part that goes Shantam Shivam Advaitam, that Turiya, your true self, this consciousness that pervades everything, is Shantam is peace itself. It's where the universe goes silent. It's Shivam, it's auspiciousness, it's goodness, it's the good in everything. Every time you want something is that. That's what you really want. And it's kind of twisted. You know, you think it's out there when really it's in here. You know, you want to eat a cake. You think the cake is going to make you happy. You eat a lot of the cake. And you see the value of the cake reduces the more you eat it. It's clearly not actually in cake where the happiness lies. Now, we're going to go into, and of course Advaitam is non-dual. We're going to go a bit into this idea of how could it possibly be, how could this knowledge of that you are that bring us, be the goodness in everything. How can this, they say in the Taittiriya Upanishad, the knower of Brahman attains the highest. How can it be the highest? You know, there's so many things we want in the world. For example, winning the lottery. The lottery is huge now. It's probably 200 million, or it could be more, 600 million. That would fix a lot of problems. That would make me very happy. Would really knowledge, some spiritual knowledge, make me happier than winning 600 million? I could invest it. I could help other people. Is it, but just this knowledge, is it really going to be as good as that? Or maybe if you think of falling in love, when I was a teenager, I really wanted to fall in love. Well, I was falling in love constantly, but nobody else was returning it. So I was just constantly frustrated. And I thought they was going to make me happy. In Spanish, they say you're looking for your media naranja, you're half an orange, to complete the orange, and then you're a whole orange. Of course, later in life, you discover that that's not really. It sometimes, it does bring people happiness, but you shouldn't really look for your happiness in other people, putting all that pressure on them. Anyway, won't go into that. But we think this is what we want. We want this love that's going to. When I'm with that person, everything's going to be okay. It's the rest of my life can be perfect because I'm going to be with the person I love, and we're going to do all the things that I imagine we're going to do, and live in this place where I imagine we're going to live. It's all going to be just perfect if she just loves me back. But it never happened. But then later, I had various opportunities. But going back to the point, there's lots of things that we want. How could this knowledge really compare to that? How could this be higher? I'm going to tell you a story now which will illustrate it. I was thinking of doing it in a different way, but I'll tell this story. It's a nice story. So it's called the Princess of Kashi. And Kashi is an old name, a spiritual name for the city of Varanasi, or Benares, as it's also called. And there's this, a long time ago, there was this, in a distant part of somewhere, far, far away, in a galaxy far away. No, it was somewhere in India. But there was a prince and his family, of course, the king, the queen, the court, and they were going to put on this performance, this dramatic performance, a play that they were going to do. And so they needed somebody to play the role of the Princess of Kashi. And the prince was 5 years old at the time. And so the queen said, well, you can dress, he can be the Princess of Kashi. Put a dress on him and a wig, and he can be the Prince of Kashi. So they did the dramatic performance. It went so well. It was fantastic. Everyone loved it. All the courtiers stood up and applauded. I think maybe they didn't have any choice, but then the queen liked it so much, so she said she wanted to remember this moment. So could they do a painting of the Princess of Kashi? Of course, they didn't have phones or cameras back then, so they had to just paint it. Now, so they did this painting and put down the bottom the date and 15 years passed. The painting was in a storeroom somewhere. And the prince was 20 years old, and he was exploring the castle, looking under beds, inside cupboards, at the back of drawers, etc., and in storerooms. He found this old disused wing of the castle, and there was a storeroom there, and there was this painting covered in a cloth, and he pulled back the cloth, and he saw the Princess of Kashi, and he looked at the date, and he says, this is the same age as me. She's beautiful. She's the person for me. I need to marry her. And so he went back, he covered up the painting again and went back to his family, and he was kind of moping around, and his parents were saying, what's wrong with you? But he was shy. He didn't want to tell them. Last time he told them he was in love, they made fun of him. And so he keeps quiet. Mother says, why aren't you eating? Why aren't you going hunting like the other princes? But eventually this old wise minister comes over and says to him, come aside. What's the problem? You can tell me. And the prince says, well, I'm in love. I'm in love with the Princess of Kashi. I need to marry her. I will not marry anyone else. And the minister says, well, no problem. We're a powerful kingdom. We can arrange these things for you. So where did you see the Princess of Kashi? And the prince says, well, I didn't actually see her. I saw a painting of her. And the minister starts to remember something. And he says, where's this painting? And so the prince takes the minister down to the storeroom. They pull the rag off the painting, dust it off. And the minister looks at it and says, well, you'd better sit down. So the prince sits down. I've got something to tell you. This was years ago, when you were 5. We had this dramatic performance, and we didn't have a Princess of Kashi. So this person played the Princess of Kashi. It's not really a princess. And the prince says, well, I don't care. I don't care who it is. I want to marry this person. I just feel this connection. And the minister says, Prince, thou art that. You are that. It was you. You played the Princess of Kashi. At that moment, the prince loses all desire to get the Princess of Kashi. And it's not because he found her and married her, or because something else happened, he found somebody else, or it's just that he understood that there was nothing, the Princess of Kashi was nothing else but himself. And this is the understanding that we come to in Advaita Vedanta, in non-dualism, non-duality, is that I am that. This very self is Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. Thou art that. You are that. Tat Tvam Asi. And with this understanding, all our desires end instantly, just like they did with the prince when the knowledge that it was him was told him. So I hope that was interesting. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.